and I've never seen him.
I'd like to see a bear fight a moose.
Fatter.
Oh, I would love to see a bear fight a moose. You kidding me? Although moose are pretty stupid, right? Moose are just generally
huge,
they're huge, but they're like cows. They don't just do anything. They don't do anything.
I don't think herbivores usually fight very well.
Yeah, they're an herbivore. Are they moose or herbivore, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
The flesh-eating moose of Canada are feared wide and far.
like a moose. A moose might outweigh it.
You just see him.
Giant, really sharp teeth growling and something.
Like those fanged deer in the rainforest. And like, you've probably never seen the teeth of a moose until now. And he just like pulls his lips back and snarls, and it's full of like huge fucking wolf teeth.
We've come across the rare carnivorous northern moose.
How big is a moose? Did you just look it up, Taylor?
Yeah, I did. So a moose is between 8 and 10 feet in length, and height at the shoulder is between 4.6 and 7 feet.
That's so big.
A male is 840 to like a full-grown adult male is 1,500 pounds. So that's
they weigh as much as a car, basically. Right?
How much does a polar bear weigh? 800? Like half that?
I don't know.
I'm going to bet that a polar bear is 1,200
polar bears are the
pounds.
biggest bears.
They are the largest of the bear.
An adult on hind legs. Why'd they break it down like this, Google? You fucking asshole.
But not the most dangerous bear.
Okay, an adult length 7.9 to 9.8, and weight is 990. So like 1,000 pounds versus 1,500. But you also get those claws, that mouth of a weapon the bears have. So I'm taking a polar bear over a moose. Yeah.
Plus, like some sort of fighting, grappling, like body type and experience.
It's got arms. Moose doesn't have arms. It's just
antlers, though. Those antlers are crazy.
Moose has got the one critical strike. So basically, if the moose is charging at you and hits you with that, you'll probably die.
The moose is like a glass cannon in that way. Yeah. He hits you on that initial rush, you're probably fucked. But if that polar bear can shimmy a little bit, get to the side, control the back.
I think we're underestimating the moose. I have a lot. I've seen those moose, like just cow moose, go crazy up in Canada and start wrecking neighborhoods, and they're terrifying. Yeah, they're so big. They hit cars and the car moves. Yeah, they're just so powerful. I don't know.
Would a Mosin Nagant one-shot a moose?
You'd have to hit him in the right spot for sure.
In the head.
Any lung heart, right, would get it done.
Yeah, lung or heart, or certainly in the head.
The brain, yeah.
But yeah, if you shot him in like the guts, you just really piss him off. He would just keep on coming.
A friend of mine lived in Fairbanks for a long time, and he said if moose just got loose, like you were just talking about, Kyle, they would just charge through neighborhoods and basically people's lawns, and there's nothing you can do. Like you can't stop them. You can't get out in front of them and be like, hey, like they just keep going. They just like plow down fences and plow down anything in their path.
You know what are even scarier than any of these animals, and that's the hippopotamus.
Yes.
Have you seen that documentary that's coming, I believe, to Netflix called Cocaine Hippos?
No,
awesome.
It's
a documentary.
Cocaine.
I hope they're dealers.
Just very skinny hippos.
It's all about the hippos that Pablo Escobar imported to Colombia to be on his like wild game fucking preserve. And then after he was put out of business, now there's hippos in South America in fucking Colombia. And there aren't many predators for the hippo in Africa.
Right.
There are no predators for the hippo in South America.
Isn't it funny how some continents just become pussy continents? I think America doesn't have the kind of apex predators that would reign supreme.
We did a real number on them.
We killed them. There
That's
were
true. Well, we're the apex predator.
There were short-nosed bears and saber-toothed tigers and I mean there were armadillos like the size of a Volkswagen. Like not that they're like apex predators or anything, but like there was a lot of megafauna here, and we killed them out.
Those giant sloths.
So what you're saying is the people of Africa and Australia who now have the apex predators are kind of pussies because they allowed them to survive.
Yeah.
I've said it many times. Africa has let those lions run rampant
for far too long.
They need to settle them down.
Or maybe they live with them. Maybe they just live with them and hang out with them. I don't know. You know.
You ever seen the movie The Ghost in the Darkness?
Yes.
So The Ghost in the Darkness tells the true story of the Tsavo lions. This is a real thing that happened in Africa, turn of the century. Like let's call it 1894. More or less, within 15 or 20 years. Either way is where I am. I'm definitely somewhere in there. No way to know. And this actually happened again. So the British were building their railroad through Africa at the time, using mostly Indian labor from India and local African tribesmen. There was this pair of 2 male lions without a pride, very rare thing, that had killed hundreds of human beings.
That's right.
The British have sent this Army Corps of Engineers officer to get this bridge constructed. Well, the lions are killing so many of his fucking workers left and right that they just quit. They leave him behind, and so his new mission is to kill the lions.
Yeah.
And like it goes on for a long time. The Tsavo lions are in the Museum of Natural History. Spoiler alert.
I like that the meanest lions in history are just a pair of gay guys. They're just wrecking everything.
What it actually is when male lions come to a certain age, they have a couple of options, right? They can either try to take on the alpha of their pride and overthrow him, or they can go out and start their own. The most dangerous lion would be one that can do neither of those things. And that's what you had here. So these are 2 male lions who don't have a pride, so they really can't take down a zebra because of the teamwork required to do that. But they can take down an Indian guy sleeping in a tent and fucking tear his flesh off in the middle of the night. It was hundreds that they killed, like not 100 or 200. I think it was like 400 or 500 human beings that these 2 lions killed. The movie has Val Kilmer and
Michael Douglas.
And it's very good. And the guy who plays there's this really cool scene where they're dealing with some local African tribesmen, and it's at a point in the movie where Val Kilmer's character has killed a lion, not one of the main lions, but a lion, and he's wearing the claws around his neck. He thinks he's a badass, and they go, Matumbo here, he killed a lion once, and Val Kilmer, and he goes, how many shots did it take you? And he goes, I use my hands.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
It was a very small lion. They do not include that in this
I
story.
choke him to death. Yeah, good movie again. A real fun movie. That's one of my favorite ones growing up. The Ghost and the Darkness.
This happens. Not rarely, but it happens occasionally in the animal kingdom where an animal will just start killing humans. Like sharks, for the most part, sharks don't do that. They like they're just hunting. They're looking for food or whatever. So they'll bite you, and then they realize you're not a seal and move on. But sometimes there'll be a shark. I think there was a great white shark. I want to say it was Monterey or like somewhere in Northern California that basically just started killing, and then like they, for no other reason than they just wanted to like just kill around where they were. And I don't know if scientists even know why that happens. I don't know why that animals just all of a sudden are like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start killing things.
Sometimes it's when a predator's wounded, or when it's like I said with the Tsavo lions, it was because they didn't have a pride of their own and they weren't really able to take on the natural prey. And if they ever get a taste for human beings, they found a new weakened food source, because at first it's something completely foreign to them. They're not sure if they should even fuck with those weird hairless apes over there wearing clothes and living in buildings. I remember there was some statistic about how many Indians, dots, not feathers, had been killed by tigers over this course of time. And it was an outrageous statistic. It was like 300 a year every year for like 200 years. Something.
Gosh.
I'm going to do Googling on that one.
I'm doing tiger attacks in India.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not Googling shit. You're on your own.
They estimate 373,000 people have died to tiger attacks between 1800 and 2009. How could you possibly estimate that?
How many people?
They said 373,000 over the course of a 109-year period.
That's so many people.
That's what I was saying. Like it's a number that's like, it's like, whoa.
I feel like if Americans lived there, they'd flip that shit over, right?
That's a ludicrous
we wouldn't have
KD
Buffalo
there
Bill
are
anymore.
no lions here now.
We wouldn't have Buffalo Bill. We'd have Larry the Lion Hunter, widely known for killing thousands and thousands of lions just for sport. Yeah. And I'm also drawing all these parallels between those Tsavo lions Kyle's talking about and humans. I'm like, God, so these lions kind of joined the priesthood, right? You know, they couldn't get married and have normal relationships, so they become priests, and then they start preying on the weakest members of society, right? They're not eating zebras anymore. They're fucking children. That's the equivalent with these Tsavo lions. It makes perfect sense.
It just shows that any species, any male member of a species that can't get any pussy is going to go crazy.
It's going to have a real problem. Yep.
You get like, that's what you get. You get like
science.
Elliot Rodger lions. were driving around in their, nice ass Mercedes shooting people out of their window in Southern California.
Who's Elliot Rodger? There's a reference I missed.
He was the shooter who like the incel shooter from a few years back who like had those pouty faces and would film himself in his car like, women are the worst and they suck and they won't date me or fuck me and I hate it. And obviously, different words than that, but pretty much the same message put forth. And then he like shot a bunch of guys and their girlfriends like walking around. And
really, he shot happy couples. That's like what his target was.
Yeah, he was like trying to, like he even failed at that. He was like trying to kill women because he was so mad at women, and then he ended up killing more men than women anyway. So just a total loser. And maybe he's dead now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't actually care. So, so we'll see. He's spiritually dead. So.
Yeah, it's animals are fucking scary, man. Like
They
it's. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been afraid of anything in the woods because there's nothing really here. Like what he said in North America,
they'll sneak up on you as long as it's not a rattler.
What's scary in the woods?
Grizzly bears are fucking scary.
Poison
ivy. But we
ivy.
don't have those I'm in the southeast. Like there's a few black bears sort of in the north, but I mean. Hunting, I was never afraid of anything that was actually out there.
When I'm in the woods, my eyes are trained looking for poison ivy. That's my that's my natural predator that just fucks my day up.
I've never had poison ivy, and I've spent a fuck ton of time in the woods throughout my life, and so I am just riding the high of assuming I'm not allergic.
Dude,
you're gonna get it.
I didn't know people were immune to poison ivy until I was in like my 30s, and people, there's a whole host of people. They're like, yeah, boy, I don't get that. And it's like, to me, it was like not getting scratched when sliding across asphalt or like not getting broken bones when you fall off a building. Like, how can you just not get poison ivy when you're in the woods, you lucky son of a gun? But people
I've never had it, and I have spent a lot of time in the woods.
Same with me. Yeah, same with me.
On the opposite.
I've gotten ticks, though, and I've always been afraid of Lyme
I fucking
disease.
hate ticks.
I was going to say, has anybody... Kyle, how long did you have a tick in you? Do you know?
Long enough for it to like just feel it in my hair that night and pluck it out.
Oh my gosh!
Like embedded in my head, like in the skin.
Yeah,
I pulled out a tick a few months ago when I was out in my backyard doing work, and like I got it like pretty much right away when I came back in. I was doing like my body search and stuff, and then I did some Googling. Apparently, deer ticks need to have latched onto you for a minimum of 48 hours until they can transmit that to you.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's not like an instant you're fucked thing.
Well,
because that would suck, because then you can't eat red meat. It like takes some years off of your overall livelihood.
Absolutely,
apparently, like it's a
It's
real
all
deal
sorts
thing.
of side effects. It's really fucking weird. But I've gotten them multiple times, like 3, 4, 5 times at least. Like, you're in a deer stand, like leaning your head back against a tree essentially, and that's where they are. I've gotten chiggers.
Oh, I've had so many chiggers I can't even count. Those are the fucking worst.
I've gotten fleas.
What's the difference between a chigger and a tick?
A chigger
The
is
chiggers
like
play loud music.
a chigger is Jesus Christ.
I should never have asked that.
you should have known where you are.
You know how quick that one was?
That was real quick.
I was waiting.
That was kind of quick on the draw. With
the whole reason I brought up
chigger
Lyme
puns.
disease. I was waiting for that one.
But so like a tick is, you can see it visually on there and like grab it with some tweezers, yank it out. A chigger is like teeny tiny little thing that just buries into your skin, and then you get dots.
Ticks have the
Like,
cars that do wheelies, right?
Oh my gosh!
Oh, Jesus Christ! But yeah, chiggers are the fucking worst. You'll like walk out and you don't, maybe you've had a different, Kyle, where you don't notice it right away, but you'll be like sitting watching TV later and you'll itch your leg and there's just like 24 teeny tiny little red marks. And you're like, well, okay, well, this is my new feeling of my feet for the next 3 days. And you have to get a bunch of fucking nail polish remover and paint it all over all the holes.
Or not remover, but actual nail polish.
Yeah, nail polish, and paint it all over the little tiny holes. And that way it suffocates them from the inside so that they die faster. Yeah, they suck.
Yeah.
Chiggers
I've never
the way
had
they burrow in and then they like stick this asshole type breathing tube.
So they can breathe.
Yeah, this little snorkel. And so you just paint over that motherfucker. I got them in this field in Tennessee, and I got home and I was like Googling, how to deal with chiggers. And man, I got so many jokes here. And,
Oh,
Stop and frisk, right, Kyle?
I'm having to shut myself the fuck up right now.
and I was like, Kitty, I need nail polish. And Kitty doesn't do her nails, but she had some purple nail polish from like a Halloween
Lord.
costume the year before, and she was like, "This is all I got." And I was like, "Fuck." Well, I guess my ankles are purple now. Let's go. It was just all from my ankle, like 6 inches up my shin. I just painted fucking purple with a whole bottle of that shit.
So what happens when you suffocate them? Do they then die in the hole and like they pop out a few days later or something?
You just
No,
absorb
they just
them.
like go into your bloodstream, I guess. Like they're so
Yeah.
teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
You know, I've never had.
I'm more afraid of ticks than chiggers because ticks like can give you shitty diseases.
Oh
but
yeah, Lyme disease.
ticks are way less annoying than chiggers because like the whole thing of it behind a tick is like its entire life cycle depends on you not knowing that it's there. Whereas chiggers, like the second they bury in, they're like, "I'm here, motherfucker, enjoy."
I've never had chiggers, but I've had red ants. They're terrible. If people live in an area without red ants, here's their modus operandi. They crawl on you, and they're like experts at not being detected. It doesn't itch, it doesn't do anything, and they all get into position. And then they release a pheromone and attack at one time. So you instantly get like dozens and dozens of red ant bites. It hurts, but that's not the big problem. The big problem is afterwards you get what's like an itchy pimple, and it goes on for 2 or 3 weeks.
Oof.
Yeah, we mostly got fire ants here, and those do really fucking hurt. They're from South America. They came over a few decades ago in fucking shipments of sugar. They are not from the North America, and they have no fucking enemies here, no natural predators here. I think anteaters literally eat them in South America, but we don't have fucking anteaters here, so they just run wild.
Why don't we import those too?
Nobody wants anteaters running around.
Why? They're fine. They just have weird ass mouths. It's like Arthur from that show that we all love.
So I don't know if this is a good idea, but we have problems. Jackie does. My wife has got into plants and like landscaping and stuff like that. So she grows flowers by the pool and around the house, and slugs are eating her flowers. So for a long time, she tried to manually like get all the slugs and throw them away, and they like to go like under wet cardboard. So she'd put that out and then collect like 20 of them. Can't seem to make a dent in the slug population. So she wants to buy nematodes. Nematodes are this parasite that eats slugs. And I'm just convinced it's going to kick off like a problem after problem.
An arms war. Is what
Yeah, right. First we get the nematodes to eat the slugs, and then that's a problem. So we get like something else, like frogs to eat the nematodes, and then we bring in like, I don't know, koalas to eat the frogs, and something until we have like spider monkeys and moose.
And give a mouse a cookie scenario. Yeah.
But I mean, there are of course treatments for slugs. You know, there's sprays and poisons.
Slug be gone. Yeah.
There literally are, you know. I mean, eggshells even work. Like, there's all sorts of things you do.
She is aware of that, but the problem is they're not compatible with dogs.
Eggshells.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, slug
I missed
poison.
the part about eggshells, but the problem with, she thinks she's worried about the dogs getting into
eating the snails that have been poisoned.
No, eating the poison.
Well, it's spray. It's like. It'd be like them getting into like Roundup that you sprayed on.
They eat grass. That's the thought process anyway. Dogs eat grass. Like that's the thing.
I don't think. Well, I don't. I mean, like Roundup has just been known to cause a bunch of cancer.
I mean,
we all get cancer. That's not even something to worry
eventually.
about.
Yeah. Who cares?
I mean, but Roundup gives it to you faster. So I think that's what she's worried about is bringing Roundup on. Like,
I don't know. I'll have to ask her why. They get an update on that. We can't do nematodes now because it's too cold. It's snowing here today.
They're just gonna leave. They're gonna be living in the pool.
Right? I think the winter will kill them.
You have pool snails.
You need to go to Home Depot. Get some fucking slug poison. Just don't say anything to her. They'll be dead. They'll all be dead.
This is good thinking. Yeah.
You can spray it on the dirt, I think. Like, they don't eat dirt.
True.
Yeah.
But there's probably snail bait traps that are, they make rat poison containers. So the rat has to like go in and like go around the corner to get to the poison. That way you can leave it outdoors, and animals like your dogs and cats can't get at the poison, but the rats can.
Couldn't you also put like a a circle of salt around everything.
Now, that would do the
No,
trick.
that's to keep
Also,
demons
witches.
We've messed with that.
I mean, slugs, you can't. I killed slugs when I was a kid with salt. You can't.
So that does work. And she's put some salt on, like, they have like paths that you're like, oh, the slugs are always walking across this part of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So she does that. But you can't just salt your landscaping because that kills that.
Kills
too.
the plants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have
that
you
makes
seen
sense. Right?
Did you watch the new Spider-Man movie?
Salt your own
Yeah.
garden.
I didn't mean salt the
Permanently
garden. I don't,
patch.
obviously.
Well,
Now
we
nothing
had-
can
we had
live here.
slugs one year, and we overdid it.